Back in December, I was casually browsing Wish to see what kind of polymer clay they might have. And I stumbled upon this ad that had pretty cheap clay, and I really wanted to test it out. $128 value? Baloney, baloney, baloney! As a salty crafter, it was definitely something that needed to be done to save you all some good money. Now fast forward 2 months later, and this is what I get. This is exactly how it arrived, in a bubble mailer, absolutely in disarray. And as you can see, we already have some smushed colors. This review is going to be extra salty, so bring on your cups of water. Before we begin, if you want a shout out in my Friday videos, don't forget to hashtag Nerdification Squad in the comment section below within the first 35 minutes of a video's release, or hashtag Nerdecrafter on Instagram anytime with one of your creations. Now, this cost me about $13 Canadian, and there are 32 blocks, which means it should be more or less 41 cents per block. These are really tiny blocks. So the pouch that we got this in is completely broken. Here's the zipper that we're supposed to open it. So it's broken here and it's broken right there. I don't even know if we got 32 colors. And here's the instructional manual, full of oil, garbage. Let's count how many colors we got. So we do get 32 colors, not that far off from each other, so is it really that necessary? The answer is most likely no. And we also get a bunch of plastic tools. So I don't know what I would use this for, maybe cutting, and then some other kind of cutter. So we ended up getting, yeah, they were supposed to be like scoopy things. I didn't get my scoopies. So I waited 2 months to get 2 of the same tools and then a butter knife. Time to measure. Get it? Scale? Measure? No? Okay. I'm really curious to see how many grams each block is. Here's a block, 10 grams per block, 11. So they're inconsistent in the actual measurement. You can get anything from 9 to 11. So let's just round it up and say 10 grams, 9, 10. Let's go with 10. All right there, let's do some calculations. So in essence, if we were to get these blocks in the same size as normal polymer clay blocks, which are about 56 grams, it would turn out to be $2.30 Canadian, which is about $2 US, which is still more expensive than getting it from Walmart, because a lot of you were saying that you found Sculpey and Fimo for about $1 at Walmart. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm just telling you where you can find it cheaper. Is this a bargain? Heck no. And you're getting really tiny blocks. That's how big they are. I wonder, where have I seen this instructional manual before? Remember this from Amazon? So here's the one from Wish. Here's the one from Amazon. Exactly the same manual. Alright, so to get a better feel of this polymer clay set, I'm going to follow the instructions on how to make a fruit basket, but I want to start off by saying, why are they giving us the instructions to make a coffee-colored piece of clay, but no indication of how to make the basket? Instructions incomplete. Alright, as I'm preparing the colors to make our coffee brown, the red is definitely one of those colors that stain. Yeah, you could see it here. Almost a crayon. Let's make our coffee brown. In terms of stickiness and texture, it's not too soft, nor is it too hard. So it's kind of in between for those of you who prefer polymer clay that is not too soft. Since there were no instructions on how to make the bowl, I figured I would do it in a way that a beginner would do it, since they wouldn't necessarily know how. I know that you can make a bowl with foil paper and a ball and blah blah blah. I know, okay, I know. Now, when it comes to making grapes, we need to rub some balls of green. Why is this little piece coming off? It's like the plastic is disintegrating for some reason. Here's a ball of green, and I'm rubbing it. Did I make a grape yet? Obviously not. And just so that you do know, it is extremely sticky. Oddly enough, kind of like the Sierra Q. Look. Even if I wanted to throw it in the garbage, there. The point was not to create a masterpiece, just kind of to make a fruit bowl with the instructions they provided in a kind of beginner type way. And honestly, that's all the time I need with this clay. I'm pretty done with it. Off to bake, and let's see what kind of finish they have. I'm going to say that it probably has a shiny finish to it, exactly like the Sierra Q. This one, oddly enough, feels quite similar. Time to find out, is this worth it? I don't know what's going on with my hands, but let's pretend it's pretty cool. The first con, this product took 2 months to get to me. I ordered it early December and it arrived beginning of February. That's a pain in the bum. When I got the colors, a lot of them were actually stuck to each other, even though there was this plastic around it. Some of them were just kind of sticking to each other because the plastic came off or disintegrated or something. The blocks that you get in this pack are 10 grams only. 10 grams means that it's 5.6 times smaller than an actual block of clay, which means if you wanted to make a bigger project, forget it. That will not happen. It might seem like an awesome deal, but the fact that we're paying 13 Canadian dollars for those tiny blocks, when you convert it to the normal size, it's actually about the same price as a known brand of polymer clay. So you're not really getting a deal. It's just the blocks are smaller, so it seems like you're getting, whoa, 32 colors, but Hey, what's up with those tools? Why did it say I was getting 5 when in fact I got 3 and they weren't even any of the 3 that were on the picture? Totally misleading. When I opened the package, it seemed like they had an idea of giving you something to keep them in, but for some reason the pouch was dirty and absolutely destroyed. That's what happens when something takes 2 months to get to you at your own risk. One of the bigger downsides also is the fact that we have no storage for these tiny blocks of clay. They're not even worth a full Ziploc, so 32 Ziplocs for these super tiny pieces. I mean, at least with the Sierra Q, we had a box, and in that box it had little compartments of plastic that we could put them in. This one has nothing, absolutely nothing. So it's just, they come in this little thin sheet of plastic that's starting to disintegrate for some reason. It is dangerous because if you miss a piece of plastic, put it in your oven, it's just gonna melt and it's gonna smell, and you don't want plastic in your oven. The instructions for these pieces of clay are absolutely incomplete. Do I bake it? Can I boil it? Where do I find the information to do something with this? Because it doesn't tell you what temperature, it doesn't tell you how long per 1/8 of an inch. If you can boil it, it doesn't even tell you for how long or how to do that. Even to make the projects, they're very absent. They just told you mix the color and then they're like, you're on your own. Too bad, so sad. Same issue with the Sierra Q. Because we have this wet, sticky texture, it's hard to put details. So if you wanted to create something a little more detailed, you're gonna have it stick to your finger and you're gonna try and get it off. And remember how I was trying to like shake it off my finger? Yeah, it's pretty sticky. So don't expect to be able to make great amounts of detail. So because this polymer clay set came with so many downsides already, I started with a pretty salty feeling to it. I'm like, if it wasn't packaged properly and the colors came sticking to each other, I didn't enjoy receiving it. So you know when you look in the mail and you're like, oh, I got something, and the answer is, why did I get something pretty crappy? I'm adding playability to the cons just because it is clay. You're gonna have tons of fun to work with it. We don't know if this is safe for kids. Is it non-toxic? The instructions are lacking, so it kind of leaves you swimming in terms of how do I use this, or can I use this like that? You just can't give this as a gift. It's a disaster. On to the pros. The first one is color variety. We are getting 32 colors. There are some gorgeous blues in there and navies. So they are really vibrant, super saturated. So if you're looking for something that has kind of like a childlike feel to it, definitely pretty cute. Another pro, same like the Sierra Q, is that this one has a slightly shiny sheen to it after it's baked. It's not fully matte like Sculpey, but if you put it in the light, it kind of glistens just slightly. It's almost like a very matte plastic, but it's there. And the last pro is that this is pretty easy for small hands. So it's not hard, it's not soft, it's kind of in the middle, but leaning a little more towards easy to use. Definitely not for little kids. Don't think of it as Play-Doh. It would be, I would say, 8 and up in terms of dexterity. So overall, I would give this set a 4 on 10 dorks. It's just, there are so many things wrong with it, and receiving it, and after 2 months, just the state of it is extremely disappointing. If you really want something and you don't mind spending a little more and getting slightly bigger blocks and slightly fewer colors, I think the Sierra Q is actually a better deal. Mind you though, it's still not a bargain. If you want me to test other things from Wish, let me know in the comment section below. I am not an artist in terms of drawing, so if you guys ask me to draw things, I probably will do like matchstick figure people. If you want to watch another salty review, click up here. And if you want to watch another project, make sure you click down there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until then, I will see you in the next video.